that know him
Right.
and that know me,
Yep.
I would think somehow or other, at least at the minimum, my mother, as far as I know, is still living. She certainly would have called me up,
Right.
and somebody else would have called me up that knows me
Yes.
if my father passed away. So I'm in a question area right now.
Okay. As the best of my knowledge,
Pardon
your
me?
father, to the best of my knowledge, your father passed away.
You do.
I think your father passed away and your mother
How
passed
did
away.
could you find out what he passed away with? He was good in health as far as I know.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think he had a heart attack. Is what I recollect.
You think so?
Yeah.
Well, I'm surprised that there are other people who know him well,
Sure.
politically as well,
Yeah.
who would not have said something, but nobody called me and said, your father passed away. I'd at least go to his burial.
Right.
Or my mother, who, as far as I know, is still living.
Who knows? You might have been there after all. You just may not remember it.
Well, that's a possibility exists, but why wouldn't my mother let me know? Why wouldn't his attorney call me, who I represent,
Right.
and say, hey, your father passed away, you gotta take him to take care of him or whatever.
Maybe you did handle all of those estate matters at the time because you were the attorney for your father.
You know, oh, I wouldn't have been doing his business.
I think you did handle his estate
Pardon me?
matters. I think you did handle his estate matters.
Well, in any event, I haven't, from my point of view, it's not a matter of age.
Yeah.
It would be a matter of that I have enough people who know him well, who would have been at least making some comment.
Yeah.
But nevertheless,
And maybe all of those things that you're mentioning actually did happen. Maybe you're just not remembering it.
well, we were very close, and I loved him very much. I think I'd be heartbroken if he were to suddenly pass away.
Yeah.
I've not gotten it from anybody that I know. In
I see.
other words, there are enough people
Yes.
who would be telling me, your father's sick, or
Sure.
your father passed away. Or
Sure.
something.
Sure.
So, I have to, looking at the whole thing, feel that I haven't. For instance, I would have seen notes in the newspaper. That's for sure.
Yes.
No, I don't think I'm out of my
Something
mind
like
to
an
such an
obituary.
extent that I wouldn't
Sure.
recall that.
Okay. All right. And we can certainly look into the whole situation.
Well, I'm bit by bit by bit. I
I
mean, doing that. And I'm thanking the opportunity to talk to you because I have many other, and other members of the Rockville Club would certainly have told me. And I'm going to simply say I've got a big question mark in my mind
Okay.
that I wouldn't know, and I'm also checking up on it.
Okay.
I mean, I would have got a call from some attorneys saying, he's got a will, which I know he has,
Yep.
or has done in the past. There would have been so many people that knew him,
Right.
I would have heard about it. And that's why I'm surprised, okay?
Yes.
Now, I haven't yet lost my mind entirely. And I'm telling you because it was quite a surprise to me when this friend of mine, and friend I will say, who passed this on to me as not as a matter of sorrow or anything, but was as a matter of information.
I see.
And
Yeah. It seems to me that
I mean, I know that he has a will. I would know that somebody, because I know that he drew a will several years ago.
right.
So along the line. Now, if he's passed away, I will say to you that will be very hard for me to take. Not
Yes.
that I'm going to fall apart,
Right.
but I would be. I loved him very much. He was a great father, and a great leader of myself as a person. Very, really a decent, hard guy that knew his business. He was not a light guy that doesn't think very much.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm the problem with that. Who knows?
Yeah, he was a real gentleman, and it was a good, inspiration to all of us.
But I do know that I took the sale of our family house at 42 Winter Street in Limerick that I grew up in. And of course, I love my mother very much, and all I know is that I would certainly have heard something. If my father, if she died, I would have heard about it fast.
Yes.
So I think that I'm telling you that this is another bit of information that I have to say to myself. And not only that, I'm sure I would know what his assets are, and I would know. My attorney would call me and said, "Your father passed away. He's got a will, whatever else."
Right. You would have.
There's nothing like that going on.
You would have had to have executed the will, and
Pardon?
you would have had to have dealt with all of the legal ramifications.
I would certainly think so. But who knows? I mean, I don't think my mind has got to that point. My point is that, well, even my wife would have called me.
Yes.
And a lot of other friends of mine would have called and said, "It's too bad your father passed away."
Yes.
I haven't had anything of that nature except that one friend of mine who was telling me about all the things that happened, and it said that this has happened, and that has happened, and that has happened. Who knows? Maybe you're right. Maybe I'm losing my mind. You see? But only thing I'm saying is, I tried to call him a couple of times. Heck, I can't even find his number in the telephone book. It's not that I called him and he, or somebody close to me said he died yesterday, which I think would have to have happened. You might have called and said, "Gee, I want to tell you something. I understand your father died." Maybe that you're telling this your way you're telling me is a nice way of doing it at this moment.
Yes.
But he was a tremendous father, not only to me, but to so many other people.
Yes.
I'm saying this one person was giving me a list of people who he was telling me had passed away, and he put my father on that list. But he didn't put my mother on that list. And as far as I know, she's alive and well. She's never been sick.
I think Claire was on that list.
Oh, you're doing very well. Thank you. But so far, I had not heard that. You have heard it. Gee, you haven't called me and told me you heard my mother passed away.
Well, we talked about it quite some time ago.
Pardon me?
We talked about it quite some time ago, just that you might have forgotten about it. We did discuss this.
My mother dying?
Yeah.
Isn't it kind of a coincidence that my father died, my mother died, and I haven't heard of either one or the other? Or do you think I'm really losing it upstairs?
No, I don't think.
You would have every right to think so.
Well,
Not that I want to put you in that spot either.
things happen, and everyone has
Well,
different.
so far you got my father dying and my mother dying, and you're really moving right along. You think I'm moving right along too?
Well, we're all slowly dying if you think about it, right?
Keep on going, will
That's
you?
what they say. I'm just telling you.
You're getting weaker and weaker in your
I'm just-
explanations.
I'm just telling you what the doctors tell us. No one's gonna live forever.
Let me tell you this, too. There are too many instances that haven't occurred. My father, for instance, was in World War II.
Yes. Oh, he was in World War One.
World War One.
Yeah.
And
You
none of
were
it-
in World War Two.
in any event, World War One, and he was all kinds of tied up with respect to World War One as a GI. He's also won the Elks Club for years.
Yes.
Nobody at the Elks Club has said to me that you, gee, and Dad was an elk.
Well, if he's not passed away, we should be able to track him down, and maybe that's what we'll try and do tomorrow. We'll try and track him down, and we'll try to track Claire down, your mother Claire,
Right.
and we can try to
And
find
she
him.
was a Doe Club from way back.
Yes.
But anyway, now I'm not going to ask you to get together with me on it. I will continue to work on it,
Yes.
and hopefully that being the most tremendously well-known person that he has, and in the businesses that we had, the law business that he was involved
Insurance.
in.
Yeah, he had an insurance business.
Insurances, right, which my brother has taken over some time ago, and he's been struggling.
What about Buffy? Is she still around? I hate to bring up a sore subject.
Who's that?
Buffy. Buffy Dunbar. I hate to bring up a sore subject. Is she still around? Because
Yeah, she's definitely around.
I know one thing. If Frank's still around and Buffy's still around, we don't want those two to get together.
No, I can tell you right now, a lot of people have tried to get together with Buffy a long time ago.
Yeah. Because if Frank and Buffy were to get together, I believe the sparks would be flying.
And mine, too. Because Buffy is the one that was a real support of my wife, you know. So, I mean, I used to be saying to me, Fran, you've lost it, call up the Who's Gals. Have them take care of you. I haven't done my will over. My will is still the same will.
Okay?
And fortunately, my father didn't call me up and said, son, I left you my everything in my will.
Yeah. Well, maybe we should try to contact Betty Ann and see if we can get Betty Ann to help. Because
No, because she has enough problems herself with her own personal family.
How about Bob? Can we get Bob to help us out?
Well, he has enough of a difficult memory as it is,
Okay.
just taking care of his everyday life. And I'm with him quite often.
Okay.
But I'm sure that if something happened to Dad, that his nephew would be quick to tell me about it.
Yeah.
Or Bob would it be as well.
Sure.
And he hasn't, and I see him once a month. We go out together with a friend of ours.
Okay.
So it would have to be, I mean, if you really knew that, you have every right to say, you know, I read the newspaper the other day and I see your father passed away.
Well, we'll have to do some research on it.
I don't
and
think you'd keep it a secret.
I want you to know. I hope that I'm wrong. I hope that my grandfather, because Frank is my grandfather.
Right?
Papa was my grandfather.
Well,
You're my father, and Papa was my grandfather.
well, I have my aunt is still living, who is his
Aunt Eva?
Aunt Eva.
Aunt Eva's still living?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Oh, very much, definitely. So, matter of fact, I had a discussion with her a bit over the last 2 or 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And, but in any event, I'm only going to say this. You've told me, you said to me, what about this, what about this, what about this? And I'm saying to myself, you didn't call me and tell me my father passed away, or you're sorry to hear that my father passed away, or my mother passed away, or something like that. My brother, he's not in good shape. He's not in bad shape, but he's not in good shape.
Right.
He's been having difficulty for quite a while. And then there are several members of the family that hate my guts with it. certainly be the first to call me if my father passed away.